Welcome to today's Tropical Atlantic Marine Weather Briefing for Thursday, March 27th. Overall this weekend, there's not a lot of hazards for the Gulf of America, Caribbean Sea, and Atlantic Ocean. The two main features that we'll be taking a look at are some strong winds and rough seas in the southwest Atlantic and some pulsing strong winds offshore Colombia. Let's take a look at the current conditions, and you'll see a low pressure right along the northern coast of Colombia. That is responsible for the pulsing strong winds that'll occur along the coast of Colombia each night, and there'll be some elevated seas of 8 to 10 feet each night in the general vicinity of the strong winds. The other thing to note is a wide area of some 8 to 10 foot seas over the tropical Atlantic. That's being caused by the trade winds, fresh to locally strong. As we head on into Friday, that's when we'll see our second area of concern for some marine hazards, as the pressure gradient between this dying cold front that'll really just be a trough of low pressure over the central Atlantic and a high pressure building in off the mid-Atlantic coast of the United States. That gradient will be leading to some increasing northeasterly and easterly winds across portions of the southwest Atlantic, including the Bahamas and the Straits of Florida, and that's going to be causing some strong northeast to easterly winds and some rough seas, as you can see here, 8 to 10 feet. And that'll continue on into the weekend, and then the continuation of the strong winds off the coast of Colombia. Into Saturday, the surface trough moves to the east, and the high pressure also slides to the east across Bermuda. We'll still have that pressure gradient though, so an area of fresh to strong winds across the southwest Atlantic, also a little bit farther east than on Friday, but still the fresh to strong winds extending across the southwest Atlantic and the Bahamas and over into the Florida Straits, with that area of 8 to 10 foot seas and even some 12 foot seas possible across portions of the southwest Atlantic. Into Sunday, overall pretty quiet conditions for most areas. The high pressure continues to push a little to the east. The pressure gradient begins to weaken. The front's pretty much gone over the eastern and central Atlantic. Fresh winds to the north of the greater Antilles, with some decaying seas still 8 to 10 feet across the southwest and pushing into the central Atlantic, and then the continuation of the fresh to strong winds off the coast of Colombia. That's going to be continuing well on into next week. And as we push on into next week for Monday, you can see the area of light winds here on the northern portion of our map, indicating where the center of the high pressure is, with winds rotating clockwise around it, but pretty quiet conditions on Monday. Still the fresh to strong winds off the coast of Colombia, but otherwise not a lot of high winds anywhere in our basin. The higher seas, rough seas, 10 feet at about the highest, kind of to the north and east of the Lesser Antilles. And then the final map that we'll look at here is for Tuesday, April 1st. We still have the pulsing winds and seas off Colombia, and the 8 to 10 foot seas now off to the north and east of the Lesser Antilles. A weak cold front pushing off the eastern United States, which won't have a lot of impact on our weather. Overall quiet conditions across the bulk of our forecast basin. So in conclusion, overall, it's a relatively quiet next few days across the Gulf, Caribbean, and Atlantic, but we'll be watching the strong winds and rough seas across the southwest Atlantic. That's extending from north of the greater Antilles across the Bahamas and into the Florida Straits, and then the pulsing strong winds and associated seas offshore northern Colombia. Thanks for viewing today's briefing. Our next briefing will be presented on Sunday, March 30th, and it will be available by 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.